Guys, welcome back. We got some exciting news today. I literally just got it. Saw it in the Facebook. Somebody tagged me in it. Photographers they're not considered essential or non-essential in Reno. So we're allowed to shoot as long as we remain within CDC guidelines. So I am very excited. Guys, my name's Jeramie. I own Jeramie Lou Photography, and I am your host on Raw Podcast. I'm not editing that out. I am your host on Raw Focus Podcast. Guys, it's been a long day. I've been filming a commercial for myself, came and did this amazing podcast, and I go back and refilm it. It's just one of those days that kind of feels like a blur of a day, right? It's already 1 o'clock, and I feel like I really haven't done much, even though I've done quite a bit of things. But it's exciting. So I can start shooting now. And in fact, I had a client book today because I was just going to do it, and she got sick, so we're pushing it out. But I'm working tomorrow, so I'm back at it. I'm very excited, but still waiting on PPP stuff. We're technically still on lockdown. I don't know how that's all going to work. But guys, today we are talking to Spencer Terry, who is a hairstylist at Origin Salon in Reno. Apparently, we know each other through other people, and really just kind of an interesting guy to talk to. I don't get to talk to many guy hairstylists, even though the hairstylist that does my hair is a man. But it's kind of interesting to see his perspective now because it's been 6 weeks without working. They are kind of stuck with this promotion. Same as my wife. They don't know what to do, how to do, where to go, what they can do. And it seems like since they do have a cosmetology board, there's a little bit more rules that they have to maintain. So we really just kind of nitpick on what we can do, how we could open, what we would need to do to open them, and really kind of talk about that. So this conversation is pretty chill, pretty neat, and it flows very nicely. So you guys will give it a listen. Let me know what you guys think. Guys, share the podcast, push it out, comment, post, link, like, thumbs up, smack that thumb, whatever you have to do to help me push this out. I appreciate it. But thank you guys for all the support so far. As I'm doing all these, I'm getting more views, more listens, more likes, and all that. And it's really inspiring to know that I'm making some sort of a difference with my voice. But guys, thank you so much. Without further ado, here is Spencer Terry.
Yeah, I got it. I can
Cool,
see you
man.
too.
Beard's growing in.
Oh yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
cutting it till quarantine's over, bro.
Same here, dude. I haven't touched it in 6 months.
Well, you have the advantage on me because it obviously isn't growing.
Well, dude, it's an Asian thing, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I want to grow it, but I can't grow anything. And this is literally all it is. So I shaved this morning, but I just shortened it. So I never have to touch like the sides or anything.
Oh my god, man, mine grows up to my eyeballs, dude.
Hey, so is your sister Destiny?
Yeah,
Oh, sweet. Yeah. No, we know Destiny. I know Destiny well.
yeah. My mom does hair. I do hair. My sister does hair.
I didn't know Destiny was from here because I knew her I've known her forever, but I met her with Chris. And when Chris moved back, so they met here and then moved to Tennessee.
Old Chris or new Chris?
Old Chris, photographer Chris.
Yeah. They so she started going to school here at the same place I went to school, and then their whole sorry, my charger's being a bitch. Probably shouldn't talk like that, but all right. But yeah, no, they so they moved in. My sister started school at the same place I went to school. The school ended up getting it was crazy. They were stealing federal financial aid money, which I guess happens a lot.
Was it Milan?
No, it's Marinello.
Marinello, yeah, I remember. Yeah, they were over where they took over the Pier 1.
Yeah, the old Pier 1 building. Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, they just started stealing a lot of money.
Yep. No, I remember that. I used to be a massage therapist. I used to teach at Milan Institute. So I remember hearing about Marinella and stuff going on, but I think that was around different timing because I wasn't teaching when that happened.
Yeah, it was crazy. She was going, and literally one day they came in and they're like, you guys have until 10 a.m. to get your shit. Get the fuck out of here.
That's what I heard because I had some friends in there too, which is but I've known Destiny ever since she came back with Old Chris when had studio. So
Yeah, she's pregnant. She's having a baby really soon.
Yeah, I
Yep.
saw her post a little thing this morning. But no, she just left the girls' salon when they moved. So, it's been pretty recent. Um,
Right.
yeah, so they were a small, tight knit group and barbecues and going out and all that stuff. So when you said that, when you wrote to that, when you said that your sister knew my wife when she first started, I thought you meant when my wife first started. So I was like,
Oh,
oh,
no.
they knew each other like 10 years ago. And then I was like, so I saw your last name and then I put it together.
Yeah. No, I was just talking about my little sis.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Small world stuff. All right, Spence. So we're gonna jump into live here in like a minute or so.
Okay.
And then I don't know if you've seen any of mine, which I never assume people have, but we're just gonna chat. And I want to get to know you, but I also want to get to know how everything's going on in the salon world, if you will. Um, Also, knowing that we're following the governor of California on his format for most likely, he is talking about extending the closures of salons as phase 3 for another 2 more months. They already
Yeah.
announced that here in Reno. So I want to talk about that too and how that's going.
Yeah, for sure. I heard that last today and yesterday. The press release by the governor was kind of the same thing.
Right.
Uh, like
Which is insane.
you can go to the dentist or the doctor, but you can't go get your hair cut.
Right. Right. And I don't know how photographers are ruled, but what I read was that as long as I'm maintaining 6 feet, I'm safe. And so I'm going to assume that, and I'm not going to ask questions.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go do my thing, do my shoots, and then I'll work it from there. So it's all
Right.
been weird. It's all been stupid. And, of course, nobody's getting anything. But you're at, what's the name of your salon? Is it South 214?
No. It's called Origins Salon.
Okay. Have you changed that on your Facebook? Where's my pen?
Yeah, it should be. It
Sweet.
probably just shows I previously worked at Salon 215.
Oh, yeah. That's what I saw there. Origins. And is that right next to Structure then? Do you know where Structure is? Are you guys off of like Mill?
Yeah, we're on Mill and Holcomb. We're like an extension of that building, the old Lenicky Electric building.
You're right next to like the alcohol place, right? Is that Tor or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, Tentor.
Yeah. Lindsay's over by Structure Salon, which is Ryland and Holcomb.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know
So
right
if
where
you go up, turn left on Holcomb. So and when you guys leave your front, turn left on Holcomb, go up like you're going to Ryland, and they're right on the right. It's like a glass building.
Yeah, I know exactly where it is.
Yeah, so that's their salon. That's where Destiny would have gone if she stuck with them, which would have been right next to you guys. But yeah, I love your guys' building. I think Lindsay and I went to Tentor and had a drink, but then we saw the salon there, and we were like, "This is freaking cool!" Like I didn't know what it was at the time, but
so it's
a cool spot.
super cool, and it was the owner's name is Amy Bellastegui. She's old Reno,
Right.
really cool girl. Rockin', and I actually worked with a guy named Louie who worked with my mom when my mom was pregnant with me.
Ooh,
doing
holy
hair.
crap, that's insane.
Yeah,
That's a
so
long time. How old are you?
I'll be 31 in September.
Yeah, so you guys are still young. So I mean, that's a long time, man. That's crazy. And so, are you're booth rental there?
Yeah, so I'm booth rental, and then I also educate for a product company called Color Proof.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah. Lindsay doesn't own anymore. My wife doesn't own anymore. Carissa owns. So we're booth rental, and it's like the best thing in the world because we don't have to worry about, anybody, anything. That's always the frustrating part.
Cool thing is, like, Amy lets us sell our own product. We don't have to follow like all the big salon rules, or anything like that. It lets us really be really independent and do our own thing.
Yeah, that's what you want from booth rental,
exactly.
right? You want to be able to run your own business, and then if it doesn't work out, you want to be able to take your product and stuff. I was always thinking that weirded me out. I mean, I get that some salons want to sell a certain product, but sometimes it's like, I don't know this product, or I've been using this other product forever. I highly, and then what if I leave? Do I have to start using this other product the whole time?
Yeah, exactly.
That's not chill.
Yeah. So, anyways, what I was saying is, Amy. So when that happened, so Brewer's Cabinet moved into the old building. We were on Arlington, and right next to Brewer's Cabinet in that old house. where they're like new tap houses, I think.
Right.
And Amy literally built that place from scratch. Like it had no
It looked like
electricity.
it. Yeah. What
It
was it
was
before?
it was originally it was a parking spot, like a garage for the guy that owned Lineky Electric. His
Hmm.
Cadillac caught on fire. You can still see the burn marks on the brick. It's really cool. And then it was extended out, and then it was just like a left alone storage place. No windows, nothing. And now
That's
it's
awesome.
gorgeous, dude. I love it.
That is awesome. All right, buddy,
Yeah,
you ready to go live here? Nothing's
yeah,
really going
for
to
sure.
change for you. So what I do always tell people, and this is all recorded too, this is all on top of everything, is I do want you to pimp out as much as you can on yourself, what you're going, when you know everything you're doing just naturally. Something kind of comes
Right.
up, we're going to talk about it because this is focused on you, and that's what I want you to remember. If your video goes on and off, don't worry, fix it. Don't worry about it. I'm not focused on it. I'm just kind of staring at you. All right, hang tight for me, buddy.
Yeah, no worries, man. I appreciate the opportunity.
Of course. Hey guys, welcome back to Raw Focus. I'm Jeramie Liu. You guys are on Facebook Live with me, and if you're listening to the podcast, we are transitioning into Facebook Live right now. Guys, this has been super fun. I've been doing these business 30-minute things, and I've also continued these 1-hour sessions where I just get to know people in my community, and that's what we're doing today. So we're hanging out with Spencer Terry here. I've tagged him. He is a stylist over at Origin Salon. And it's kind of a perfect timing that we're talking. As most of you guys know, my wife is at a salon as well. She's a hairstylist, cosmetologist. And we got some news possibly today that the salons are going to be closed for another 2 months. And it's just kind of weird that I have Spencer here at the same time. So what I want to do is kind of get to know Spencer and figure out what the game plan is for the next 2 months, because he obviously hasn't been working this last month and a half, and it may be nice and maybe not, but also I know everybody's anxious to get back in. I have to wear a hat all the time because I can't get my hair cut. And side note, Lindsay doesn't cut my hair, although she's done it once since we've been closed, but I go to somebody else totally different. So Spence, dude, thank you so much for doing this, man. How's your day going?
Good so far, man. Happy to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
No, totally, man. So how's life been the last month and a half for you?
Hard.
Yeah. Have you
uh,
been, I mean, like, I feel like I'm a hustler, so I'm always having to do stuff. Have you been doing anything, or what's been occupying your time, I guess?
Netflix and chill.
Yeah, chill. I like that. What have
But
you been watching?
there's not really chilling any chilling
I know,
going on.
dude. My girl said that one day to me. I have 4 kids and 3 little girls, and they're like, "Yeah, Dad, you want to Netflix and chill?" And I'm like, "No, I'm cool." You know what that means. So how long have you been doing hair?
So I've been doing hair, God, I think like 8 years now.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
But
and where are you from here?
yeah, I'm from here. My parents are like first group born in Reno. Um,
Oh,
my dad's mom was actually from Sicily, and my grandma was from California. Thought she grew up her whole life thinking she was Mexican. She was actually Italian. My dad's dad was Irish.
did she speak Spanish?
Yeah, adopted. What's that?
Did she speak Spanish?
No, no.
Yeah,
But
that would have been awesome.
I know. God rest her soul. She just passed recently,
Oh
like
no,
in
I'm sorry to hear that.
early January. So I'm kind of that's kind of a
Oh,
blessing, guys. So she didn't have to go through coronavirus or anything. But
right. And yeah, and I'm sure she would have been high risk um, at this point with everything going on.
yeah,
Um,
she had cancer stuff. But yeah, no.
oh,
So excuse me. Getting back to your question, the last couple months have been really hard. I had
mhm,
set up actually like a Facebook page for donations to try and help like my salon owner out,
right.
try and help, like, I haven't paid rent in 2 months or the power bill or the cell phone bill because I had no income. And
Right.
um, so I got it. I had, my oldest brother sent me some money. So that was cool. And we've just been hunkering down, man.
So when everything closed, you guys closed completely. Have you tried to apply for PPP, or like I guess not PPP, like unemployment? We're still waiting on that for the self-employment. Are you waiting on that as well?
Yeah, I've already filed and never got any response. The
Right.
SBA, SBA and the PPP. Oh man, oh man.
Dude, I know.
If you go on to my Facebook page, it's Spencer T hyphen ERRYTERRY. I like to stay
Right.
a little hip way, but
I like it. And I tagged you in this as well. So those are
oh, okay,
watching.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I sent a very strongly worded letter to the SBA and their PPP program and all that, and all about like what you had said about Ruth Chris and everything. I guess as far as I know, that money's been returned.
Right.
But,
So the Lakers, Ruth Chris, Potbelly, they've all returned their money. And I think this time around, which, I mean, great. But the issue is like that money has now gone out and we're on a timeline, right? So, but the 3 weeks that they had that money, we're not able to pay our bills if I were to get it. And all of a sudden now our landlords are coming after us. So it's a little too late. I mean, they shouldn't have gotten in the first place, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, yeah, and you know what we all should have. It's called, it's a small business association, whatever,
Right.
and their whole job is to make sure that if something like this was to happen, we're not stuck,
Right.
hanging out with thumbs up our butts.
What are you? Okay, so let's talk about this now because I usually wait to get a little into the Corona stuff, but we are following our governor, who I'm not happy about right now. I go to his Facebook page, I read all his comments. I know everybody's all about he's a hero and thank you for keeping us safe. And in my mind, when people say stuff like that, I just imagine they're just at home watching Netflix, chilling. They have money, they're not worried about it. Maybe they're employees of something, whatever.
Or they can work from home.
Right, where they're making money, right? Well, we're not allowed to. So my issue is talking to my wife right before we got onto this. She said that that Governor Newsom of California is putting salons in phase 3, which is about 2 months from now, of allowing them to open up. California is kind of in the same realm where they don't have money coming in either. They're starting to get the self-unemployment. How does that make you feel, man?
Well, honestly, I didn't vote for him. I think this whole process has really just shown that I think all of us were just underprepared in a way.
Right.
Oddly, I like to be very self-sufficient if I can.
Mm-hmm.
But, this whole thing, it's been, wait, it's coming. We're going to have more. We're going to have more. Right. You're going to get it. Don't worry. Well, here we are, 3-4 months into this, and I'm worried because it's not coming.
Right. And I mean, I was fine for the first 3 weeks. We have savings. We've done well in our careers, but I always told people that's not what my savings was meant for. It wasn't meant for, it's not like it's not like I decided not to work. It's not like I decided to take 6 weeks off and just go travel. Right. It's the government saying, Jeramie, you cannot work. You're not allowed to work. And if you work, we're going to come after you. But we're also not going to give you anything to help you. So it's kind of this weird, what do I do?
Well, and today or yesterday, I think it was the 27th, was the latest announcement by the governor saying, you're going to be able to go to your doctor's appointments and your dental appointments. And that's pretty much the gist of the whole 3-page letter that I read literally just before I got on with you.
Right.
And I ran through it earlier the other day, but, it's the same thing. I mean, what are we going to do? Unfortunately, I think that, first of all, as hairstylists or salon owners or hairdressers or cosmetologists, estheticians, massage therapists, whatever you want to say, as long as I think that we really stick together as a group and you don't have people that are going to people's houses cutting their hair or double dipping in your wax spots,
right.
We're set up a high risk environment. And so I kind of understand it, but at the same time, it's okay, if you're going to do that, you really got to step up the help. I'm out.
Right. But on the other end, I can go to Safeway or Costco and then be bombarded by tons of people all around me. And
right.
that's fine.
Yeah, I know.
Right. So I know that the Board of Cosmetology is coming up with some guidelines that they're wanting to push out and then send out. And their hope is that if they can push this out and send it out, that the governor will kind of change his mind a little bit. Now, he hasn't officially said anything at this point, but we know that he has a pact with the Western states.
Right, right.
So it might change, but I know the board, your guys' board, is creating something. What do you think would they be able to put onto that list of things that you should do? Okay, imagine you being the owner of the salon. What would you need to see in order for you to feel like you guys are adhering to all the social distance rules while maintaining a safe work environment?
Definitely wear a mask, a face covering of some sort.
Right, for both,
Maybe,
right? So I mean, your client as well.
I think so, yeah, and having ramped up measures of like being able to check somebody's temperature as they come in, because I work with 3 stylists and we all have different clientele bases, and we're just a small shop, but some of my clients are in their 90s, and everybody else has kind of the same thing. We have this big mixed, varied group,
Right.
and gloves, masks, extremely sanitizing. I mean, we were doing that when we first heard about this, before it even got to the States. We were doing the same thing because we knew it was coming no matter what,
Right.
right? People travel internationally every day. If anybody's seen the movie Contagion,
Oh my God. Yeah.
it's exactly how it happened. And
Right.
so I get it. And we were literally like quadsing down after every client. They had to come in like through our back entrance. One person could work one day, another person could work another day. So we weren't like intermixing with our clients. And this
Right.
was way back in like January, early February, before we really started seeing it even on the West Coast or
So you guys
even,
were taking like the precautions just in case something were to happen,
yeah,
which is
exactly.
good.
And then, the biggest fear, I think, for any owner, and, all 3 of us at that salon, and you yourself and your wife are small business owners, and
Right.
all of us are taking a risk every time we're letting somebody in. So they could, if I got one of my clients sick, first of all, I would never forgive myself, let alone if their family came after me, it would be
Right.
all.
And I mean, yeah, it's that. I mean, you guys have to develop this personal relationship with your clients. So, nobody's saying that anybody will do it on purpose. But yeah, if you know that you got somebody sick or somebody puts even like the flu or the cold or something, people have that. Like, you got me sick, bro. This is way more different. But ultimately, I mean, it's hard to say because we want to be open, but does that mean if we want to be open that clients are going to start coming to us as well? Do they even want to come in at this point? Because are they concerned about it? Like even the whole
Yeah.
everybody doing underground haircuts and all that stuff, which I don't know if anybody personally has done it. Lindsay doesn't do it. Nobody's allowed in our house. But somebody's like, yeah, I'll just do underground haircuts. But I'm like, who's going to even want to come out because they're so worried about it right now? Are you guys being proactive as far as money making? I mean, you said that you were trying to raise money. Have you started selling gift certificates, or what are you seeing that you could possibly do, or other salon
So
people can do?
So what I originally did was I reached out to like my most loyal, amazing clients that have been with me from the get-go,
Right.
and I said, hey, is there any way you could possibly prepay for your appointment for when this
Sure.
is over?
Hmm.
Because I'm not making any money, and I got bills just like you, and I know it's hard for everybody. Don't get me wrong, and I'm
Right.
not asking for a handout. I'm just asking for a handout,
You're
And then
still going to do the work. You're just getting a
yeah,
payment ahead of time. Totally.
yeah, and then but as I started doing that, I realized, okay, well, when this is over, I'm going to be working 4 weeks on top of being out of work for however long this takes, and then I'm going to
Right.
be working 4 weeks for free.
Right.
Essentially, I mean, it's paid for, but that money's gone the
Well,
minute.
and that's what a gift certificate is, right? You get the money now. So, like for instance, I'm selling a crap ton of gift certificates. I sold 175 gift certificates in the last month.
Awesome,
And so,
awesome.
yeah, awesome. But now I have to do 175 shoots sometime this year that I'm not going to get paid for again. And that's my mindset, right? But it's helping us get through the month Lindsay did something a little similar. She kind of actually did similar to you. She contacted her clients and was offering to hold bookings for half down. So pay half, and she didn't want to do the full because she didn't want to get it all. So basically, they pay half and book their appointment, and then when they come, they pay the other half. So she
That's
still
kind
feels
of
like
what,
she's making something.
right. And that's kind of what I did. Like I gave them, like I did pay 75% of your appointment, and I'll
Right.
give you a discount when you come back in or something,
Right.
$10 or $5 or something like that. And that was kind of just how I set it up. But yeah, she's spot on. I think that's a way better idea, to be honest.
Yeah. And it's
Take
tough. It's only for your loyal customers, you know?
Yeah, and I really only asked my like really, really, really good clients that have been with me through thick and thin, and I've
Totally.
been to them through childbirths, divorces, and crying appointments, and
Yeah.
screaming and yelling at your husband appointments. Yeah, been there, done that, and
Dude, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's also, I mean, yeah, I'm sure you've gone through the phase of trying to collect like even like a retainer or something for, some people won't even do that. Like Lindsay had wanted to go through this whole process of somebody wants to book, you need to put a deposit down, non-refundable, just in case you cancel, or just give me your credit card or something. And there's a ton of people that wouldn't book because they didn't want to do that, because if they no call, no show, then they're out. So yeah.
right, and I kind of have that same thing. So like, if you go to indieappt.com/Spencer Terry.
So Indie appointment, yeah.
You can book an appointment, and we kind of have the same thing, especially with my my extension clients, because extensions are so expensive, and once you buy the hair, you cannot return it.
Right.
So it's a $35 consultation fee, and a lot of people don't do it because they don't want to pay the $35 if they decide to skip out, because they're either really good clients or they're flaky.
Right.
And I don't mean anybody in my industry that feels differently. It's just, that's my opinion.
No, I mean, I agree. I mean, even, I'll take a retainer. Every shoot that I do, I take a retainer, and I'll have people sometimes just not show. And then I'm like, well, you just lost $95. And, sometimes they'll call me a week later. Hey, I totally forgot our appointment. And I'm like, well, I called you 3 times. I sent you some reminders. I was there waiting for you. So it's kind of out. And at that point, it's your business. You have to run what it does. So Spencer, let's back it up here a little bit. You come from a hair family. Is that correct?
Yes.
So
yes,
list everybody that does hair. List everybody that does hair in your family.
So my great aunt did hair. She's since passed. My mom does hair. I do hair. My little sister does hair, and she actually used to work with Lindsay.
Yeah, Destiny, right?
Yeah. So yeah, we're like a hair thumping family.
That's amazing.
It's very competitive.
Is it? Yeah. How are you guys nobody's at the same salon with anybody?
Oh, there's no way in hell we could work together.
I mean, you guys should really just open up your own salon and make like a TV show out of it.
Yeah, do the Kardashian thing. I'm all about it.
Yeah, just like this cool like salon extension, and you guys just fighting with each other. Oh man, it would be. It could be a thing.
Like growing up Gotti.
Yeah, something on that realm, right?
Onions.
So, how does this happen? Because my dad's a manicurist. He does nails. And then my mom was a hairstylist, cosmetologist as well. Crazy. I decided to not do either. Like my sisters don't do either. We went out of it. How do you guys kind of get into that realm where you just do what your mom did?
So most of my early career of life in general was in restaurants.
Right.
My dad just done always like restaurant consulting, business consulting, and then later became a chef. And I ended up becoming a sous chef for a couple restaurants. A couple big names, actually. I'm not going to say I'm on here right now.
That's okay. Yeah, no worries.
Because we haven't all left on the best terms, But so I did that for a while, and then I just remember being a kid and my mom bringing home like stacks of cash every day, and I was like, you know what?
Right.
I can totally do this. I can hang out with hot chicks all day and get paid to do it. Like hell yeah! And and I waited a long time to even go to school because I was scared of the stereotype of the typical gay male hairstylist or whatever.
Right.
And that actually hindered me from doing it for a really long time. And then I was like, anybody that's gonna say that, and I have no objection if if that's who you are, you know,
Right.
whatever your sex, your gender, whatever, I don't care.
Right.
But if a construction worker is going to call me gay, I'm going to turn around and tell him, dude, I spend my day inside with air conditioning and heat, and I get to hang out with hot chicks. What
Hot
do you
chicks
do
all
all
day.
day?
He's like, that's my secret, right? I before I was a photographer, I was actually a massage therapist. And I taught massage therapy as well after I graduated and did massage. But in my class, I remember when I was in school, there were 6 guys, including myself, and I was the only straight one. And I didn't know of that stereotype while I was in school, but it was one of those things that, like, you know, whenever I told somebody I was a massage therapist, for some reason their mind went there, even though that's not what we think about. It's not like, you know, I'm like, I'm a deep
Right,
tissue massage
right.
therapist. I'm a man. Like, I get in there. But a lot of people, yeah, have that stereotype that either I'm gay and I'm not. And I've had that since I was a kid. The Asian kid that can dress really well, he must be gay. But it's never like, it's never bothered me just because it's not, you know, it's not a bad thing. You know, it's like, I'm like, that's
Right, it's a
fine.
non.
You know, you call me that, whatever. But it's just a weird, I hope, you know, I know we're still in it. Nobody does that anymore to me, but it's just a weird thing for people to even like, who cares? I'm not hating on you.
Right. It's like you know, it's always just been a non-issue for me, and I
Right.
think it's probably for you and me. It's because we just grew up around it, you know,
Right.
and that's part of daily life. You know, I remember chasing my little sister around at it's called Posh Salon now, but it used to
Mm-hmm.
be uh,
Genesis.
Genesis. Thank you.
Yeah.
And you know, messing around and chasing her back and forth while my mom cut hair all day. Like it
Yeah.
was, and there was always strange guys, strange girls. We didn't care. We were more interested in getting like Tootsie Pops and shit.
Right. So that stereotype though hindered you a little bit, or at least made you start a little bit later. What actually took the push to? And you said you do extensions, which actually I didn't. I for some reason I just didn't push that together. So do you just work on girls? Do you just work on women primarily?
No, my actually like a big portion of my clientele are men. Like
Nice.
I'm known as. I mean, I don't say this about myself, and I probably shouldn't, but a lot of my clients call me like the coolest non-barber barber.
Right. Because guys are supposed to go to barbers, right? That's what we've been told, right? I'm supposed to get a
Yeah, that's
good
stereotype.
clean.
No,
Yeah.
it's not that bad in Reno, but
Hmm.
like I have guys that are afraid to tell, like young guys, like 17, 18, whatever,
Right.
that are scared to say that they go to a hairstylist. They like refer to me as their barber.
Right.
You know, and
I
I'm
blame sports clips, man.
yeah,
I blame that place. I mean, you walk in and, you know, it's like girls are dressed as referees or whatever they're dressed as. They're supposed to be sexy. And then the guy's in there getting his haircut all cool when he leaves. And I'm like, I don't, you know,
and you get to
I go
watch
to
football.
trades.
Yeah.
What was
Well,
that?
if you came to me or Amy or Louie or
Right.
any of us at Origins, you know, we got a goddamn distillery and brewery next door. You can have any beer you want
Yeah.
for free. I don't even charge you for the beer.
Oh, nice.
I'm giving it to you. Or I can
Yeah.
give you a shot of vodka, some whiskey, Coke, Gatorade, Dr. Pepper.
Because you guys are at Origins, which is on the corner of Holcomb and Mill. It's a
Yeah.
newer salon, newly built, really cool location, really cool spot. You said it used to be like a parking garage or something that the owner that you work for, who owns your salon, is rebuilt it, but
No.
it's right next to 10 Tor.
Yeah. So it's 400 East Mill Street, and Origins has been around for a long time. It's just
Right.
in this location, I think it's been 4 years. I've been with them for almost 3. It'll be 3 on the 5th of July, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that whole story is crazy. But yeah, no. So yeah, 400 East Mill Street, Suite 103. It's attached to the old Linneke Electric building. There's a bunch of businesses in there, and then literally we share like an alleyway parking lot with Tentor Distillery, which is right next door on Mill.
Right, which is a really cool distillery. They have live bands, live music, some really
Food trucks.
cool drinks. Yeah. So when
And
we're able to do that
all their
stuff
stuff.
again,
Yeah, and all their stuff is made in house. Like I think they have like 12 beers on tap. They make their
Yeah.
own vodka. They make their own gin. They have a whiskey going right now that they're working on,
Oh,
and
nice.
they're still open right now for like curbside pickup
Right.
for a
And you
couple
can order
hours a day.
alcohol and curbside, can't you?
Yeah, as long as
That's
it's sealed.
right. Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
they,
I
they
think oh, go ahead.
oh well, they do a really cool thing there. You can actually order a beer off the tap, and they'll put it in a can, like a 40 for you to take home
Awesome.
directly off the tap. So the freshest that it can ever be,
Yeah. I
and
love
it's
that,
and
man.
they seal it. It's cool.
I love that. I'm sure you've been networking with other salons and other hairstylists just on social media over this whole time.
Right.
How's the community feeling about everything going on? Is there a good support system, or is everybody kind of out for their own?
I think it's a mix of both.
Mhm.
I know that we've all kind of been like trying to like dip our toe in the water to try and see where the temperature's at.
Right.
Um, but it seems so far so good. Like everybody's actually really sticking together, like saying, no, we're not going to go do hair at somebody's house. No, we're not going to open the salon for one person at
Right.
a time. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to stand together as one group and do this until the very end,
Right.
and if that means I gotta bake a lasagna and take it to somebody and drop it off at their door because they can't open the door to me, I'm happy to do it as long as I can, I can skimp enough money to get that done if even, especially if I contacted, the hair community.
Right. Now, what do you
A lot of people.
feel about people tattling on each other? Do you think that that's a good thing or a bad thing? I have my views on my community, but like, if you hear somebody is offering, like, let's say basement haircuts or something where they go to your house, should we be telling on them? Should we just ignore them? What should we be doing for your community, knowing that they might get caught?
I think most importantly, like another stylist that knows of it needs to say something just to that person. I don't think you need
Okay.
to turn anybody in for anything. We can
Right.
do our policing. We've done it for years and years and years and years
Right.
with people that do in-home braidings and all sorts of stuff like that. And we've actually had legislation now, like getting a braiding license. So you can do that kind of stuff. But I think as long as if enough hairstylists that kind of like how it has been. If enough of us stick together and say like, no, we're closed. It's closed until it's allowed to reopen. And
Right.
then if you hear like some dude is doing haircuts in his garage, like we all need to say something to him. Doesn't mean that we have to tell on him, but we should
Right.
say something. I mean, I think it's the same for you guys in your industry, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
how fair would it be, like, if you were just taking pictures of your kids outside and somebody, you know, uh, turned you in as doing photography through your business when you were just taking pictures of your girls, which are gorgeous girls. They
Thanks, buddy.
crack me up. The bosses, you call them, right?
They're the bosses. So yeah, I mean, I feel like we're a little bit different for the simple fact that we don't have a board, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
photographers, you just have to get a business license, and that's really it. I mean, you don't even have to get that if nobody finds you, whatever. So like, I have licensed insurance. I run my business legitimately, and I'm not 100% concerned on tattling on other photographers. Although when I see photographers posting on their stories or their Instagram, like, hey, just did a shoot today, or here, obviously a story is like right what's happening right now. I'm like, you're an idiot. So like, I'll message them and be like, hey, stop posting this, keep shooting, stop posting this because you're gonna get in trouble. And for me, I
And
just know that we can do it safely. It's a little bit different than you guys.
that's kind of that's a good way to put it. I've done the same thing, and I've actually done it to where I've actually made a mistake about somebody. Just they were just posting old pictures, but it
Right.
looked like
Yeah.
new pictures. And I'm like, hey man, you shouldn't be working. But
Right.
you know, I think it's kind of the same for us. And yeah, you're right. We do have a board, but it's not picked by us. It's not picked by
Right.
hairstylists.
Yeah.
You know, you're elected to that position. And when Sisolak actually initially came in, he like cleaned the house at State Board of Cosmetology, and a lot of
Right.
stuff changed. And a lot of people that I had built really, really good relationships with State Board. I've never been in trouble with them, thank God. I try and keep everything as legit as possible, of course. But a lot of those people who had retired from actually cutting hair, ended up having to go back to do it because they had retired from cutting hair and like, oh, well, I can show you my skills if I go work for the board. And so like the main 8 people that are like the head of State Board of Cosmetology in Nevada were taken out. So
that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and the board's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. I wish the photography had like some sort of board, some sort of just something to give us some rules or some guides, especially newer photographers coming in. I know that they don't, that's who license you. You guys have to do your CEUs. We don't have to do stuff like that. It's good to have. And I hope that they champion for you guys to keep going earlier. I hope that they're doing everything that they can as a board to be like, hey, Gov, like, they're good to go. We've given them rules, they're working half days or working whatever, but they're ready to go rather than just this general small space kind of thing. And that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah. And I think as long as if we could probably do it right now, but we need to have like strict guidelines set out, I think, before they really let us officially open up. And that might, raise some eyebrows or piss some people off, but
so let's think out loud here. Let's think out loud then.
Sure.
If me, not a salon owner, well, kind of owned a salon with my wife, if I were to say, hey, let's come up with some rules on how to get you guys open tomorrow. So here's what I'm thinking, right? And this is a general salon. So basically I would, as I know it now, most salons, everybody's kind of staggered on their days, right? So hopefully we can keep the staggering going where there's a space in between or 6 feet or something where we can rearrange it. As long as everybody's 6 feet, everybody does a temperature check when they come in. Everybody wears a mask. So if the salon, if they don't have a mask, the salon has to provide them a mask kind of thing. The salons have masks. Somebody was mentioning something about blow drying could push that around. So maybe we don't style the client's hair. We do everything we can.
Yeah. I kind of agree with that. Like, I did hear of a couple places that were actually pre-mixing people's color, and like you would drive up and do like a drug deal for your color.
Right. Yeah.
But no, I totally agree with what you're saying. Mask, temperature checks.
What else would you want to see, or what else could they? I mean, there's not much we can do, right? Because we're maintaining 6 foot. But what else could you do to be like, hey, Gov, like this is what we're doing?
Like, we'll wear masks. We'll wear gloves. We won't style the hair with a blow dryer. You leave with wet hair. Sorry, that's the times right now.
Right. Right.
And the salons should be provided with masks by the state board. That's what we pay our licensing fees for. That's what we.
I mean, Utah's giving everybody a mask for free. I mean, that's what they're doing.
Yeah. And they're also stockpiling hydroxychloroquine because it's
which is a whole other issue on if we're allowed to do that or not.
And maybe do kind of like what the pharmacies and grocery stores are doing, and have special hours for our older clients, or are ripened, well-aged.
Right. Even limit like, no more than 10 people in, or like if you have 100-foot square space, no more than like, 2 people in that 100-foot square space. So if your salon is 500 square feet, you can do 10 people or something. But there's ways to go around it, because I don't think in 6 months from now, we know that COVID's not going away. So, it's going to be there when it's going to be there. So I don't think that everybody's saying, we have to wait 2 more months. I mean, yes, the numbers are going to go down, but we're going to have to get integrated with other people anyways. And we're going to have to do these to keep it from coming back. I mean, nobody's going to start shaking hands or talking to other faces. Right. Yeah. I mean, so you're going to go back to work, hopefully in the next month or so, right? So we haven't officially been announced anything. Hopefully. Yeah. How's your schedule going to look like? What are you going to have to do to get back to normal? And I mean, do you just have a wait list ready to like go?
I actually have people already booked for like, some people have like 4 appointments for like if we were going to open May 1st or May 15th or June, whatever. So people have like most of my people have a couple appointments staggered out of days that that we might be able to come back. And if that changes, that changes. And it's a lot of phone calls to make, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. There's nothing more that I don't think as a cosmetologist or a hairstylist that we can really do, rather than, we're like hoping and praying, like, please let us do something, because at some point, we're all going to get it essentially, right?
Right. Or
Some
we
people,
might have gotten it already. What are people saying? It's
right?
and I get it. We want to be safe, and that's my frustrating part. So we want to be safe. I feel like our family has done everything we can. We haven't let our grandparent, or the in-laws in, so the kids' grandparents haven't been able to come in the house. We had one family member who flew on a plane to come home from college, and we were like, dude, you can't come in for like 2 weeks at least. We kept him out for 3 weeks. We've done everything we can, everything we've asked for, but now we're not living life, and that's kind of the frustrating part. And I know a lot of people feel the same way. Um, it's not like we're anti getting better. We're just ready for the next step. Like, what do we do to combat this? Help us out, kind of thing.
Right. And I think, at some point, at some level, somebody's going to have to say, okay, it's okay to open up, or okay, here's your new rules. And, I think with the states banding together is actually probably a better thing than it coming down from like the Fed.
At least
Um,
it's a smaller group. But do you think that
yeah,
we're California? I mean, do you think that Reno is Las Vegas? You know what I'm saying? Like, we should have a different set of
no,
rules than Vegas.
no, yeah, absolutely. And when I really started to get concerned about still working was when they issued like the casinos closing,
Right.
because that's where all our revenue comes from, right? All of our tax
Well, and that's
revenue.
a huge deal because I don't ever remember that ever happening ever, like in the ever of
No,
evers.
not in my lifetime, anyways. I sure as hell
I
don't
don't.
ever
Yeah, I mean,
remember.
I know that Disneyland closed 9/11 for the day. That was it. But it's never closed before or after. And so when Disneyland closed, and then when the casinos in Vegas closed, like Reno, I was like, okay, I can see that. But then like when Vegas closed everything, I was like, isn't that just all their money?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and the fact that we haven't opened up yet, my I don't have a conspiracy theory, but I'm like, money's coming from somewhere that's not making the government push to open up sooner, if that makes sense. Like there has to be they're getting their money somewhere.
Well, I think if you look at like state to state, and say you compare Nevada to Utah, right?
Hmm.
A left leaning state of, us being whatever, purple and
Right.
to slack, and then you look at like a red state like Utah, who's actively, like you said, issuing out masks, giving hydroxychloroquine, trying to get that herd immunity, and they're going to be, besides Florida, maybe one of the first places to open back up. And what are we going to say? They can't drive across a federal highway to get into Nevada? It's still going to happen. But I think at some point we're all going to have to get that herd immunity, and I
Right.
I think honestly, the sooner the better. And like you said, you guys have been safe, but we're to the point now to where I don't think anybody, like you said, is living life. Like there's no life to live at the moment.
Right, right. We're all stuck. And in the grand scheme of things, 6 weeks isn't crazy. 2 months isn't crazy. We're gonna look back these 5 years from now. I'm like, hey, remember that 3 months that we just like were dying? We're not in the Great Depression. We're in a lot better state than that. But I think with social media, and I think with the knowledge that we have with everything that's going on, it's making it a lot different. And people just don't believe the government anymore. When the PPP comes out, and all of a sudden all these large corporations get the money instead of us, and we're sitting there like, wait, so I'm a one person business, but that 500 or less people business is a small business too. Like, how many businesses do you know that have 500 people that you're like, that's a small business? So it's weird stuff like that. So
Yeah,
on a positive side though, I mean, your clients are waiting for you. You're pre-booking. You're just, when we can open, you're going to come in. You're going to start working.
absolutely.
How is your mom and your sister doing with everything? I know your sister's prego right now. Um, I mean,
Yeah,
how are they
about to
doing with
pop.
everything? About to pop.
Um, her husband, who is also named Chris,
Right.
uh, is a sheriff, so he's still working.
Right.
She's about to pop, and I'm scared of that because she, she has to go to the hospital for any reason. That's scary. But so I don't think she's going to be returning to work anytime soon, even after this is over. But my biggest concern is if somehow I receive it from a client, or maybe I've already had it, giving it to my mom, or my mom getting it from a client because she has to work.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrifying. You know,
Right.
I don't want anybody in my family really to get, to ever get sick or get hurt, or if it happened to my dad. And, I, because of the uncertainty, it's like getting back to normal is something I really want to do. But at the same time, it's scary because, we have parents and grandparents and, you know, aunts and uncles that are in that, that risk group. So I don't know. Trying to answer your question the best I can. It's like,
No, that was good. I
it's
mean,
not
that was,
working. Mom is, as soon
yeah.
as she's chomping at the bit. I'm chomping at the bit. So I think we're just gonna kind of have to see where it goes from here.
Right. I mean, look, we're all ready to go to work. And once we're at work, it's our responsibility, even for our clients. It's not our responsibility to keep our clients safe, right? We're doing everything for us.
Right.
Yes, when they come in, if they don't have a mask, we should provide it with them. I mean, I always do like the whole shame on them for not wearing a mask. Like, I don't care. You're wearing a mask for me. You're not wearing it for yourself. I'm wearing it for everybody else. I'm not going to go cough in somebody's face, but if I do have it, I don't want to be that guy to pass it around. And that's why we wear masks, is to protect everybody else, not ourselves. And
Right.
so,
Right. And that's that becomes an insurance liability issue to a certain extent.
right.
Um, if you end up giving it to somebody, people are going to say, oh, if you gave it to me, I would never come after you. Well, until they sit down with an attorney and realize that they have, huge medical expenses or whatever. Even though everybody's kind of like covered under the big umbrella right now, but at some point, some people are going to come after some people. And that's just something I want to highly avoid as much as possible, as you do,
Yeah.
that's no fun on anybody.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's just a weird world, but I like this. You kind of said something before, like in our lifetime, and you also said something to the effect of, we kind of see what we're made of at this point, and I feel like maybe a lot of our businesses weren't doing as well as we thought. Maybe a lot of people weren't saving as much as they thought they were, and so I hope that small businesses start to mind their business a little bit more once this happens. I'm a huge advocate of charging your worth. And I know that your industry, there's people that charge a huge balloon amount, right? So there's like super low, super high for the same skill, the same service. I
Yeah.
hope that people can kind of get together and be like, this is why we need to charge our value of what we do, because, we had up 6 weeks off and everybody almost went bankrupt.
Right. Exactly. And I
Crazy.
totally agree with you on that. And, kind of speaking to your point, a lot of other hairstylists that I know that do, well, not a lot, a couple hairstylists that I know that also do hair extensions have actually teamed up with me
Mm-hmm.
before all this and decided, like, no, we're going to charge a $35 consultation fee. We are not going to charge less than what the amount of the hair costs at retail value.
Right. Why
And
would you do that?
we're not going to charge what we're worth, or we are going to charge what we're worth.
Right.
It's a set price for a full set of extensions, including hair, depending on length. And then every touch-up appointment is an exact price, and we all kind of stick to that. And that's actually made a huge difference, because before I even did that, people would come in for a consultation, and then they would find out what I would charge, and then they'd go back to a normal hairstylist and say, well, this guy said he'd do it for this much. And then they go to a different hairstylist and say, well, my hairstylist said she'd do it for this
Right.
much.
I always say
Everybody,
congrats, like go for it. I'm like, go for that other person. That's great.
that's what
I'm not in the business of haggling rates of my rates. You can't go in and buy an Apple iPhone and say, like, you know what? If I talk about you, will you give me $100 off this iPhone? They're like, get the fuck out, bro. Like, you're done. That's exactly what's going to happen. So it is very frustrating. So Spence, we have about 7 minutes left here. And what I want to do is I want to focus on you. I
Okay.
want you to just let the people know, and we'll get off of this too in a second. But I want to let the people know what you do, how you do it, why you do it, how to find you, if you're still booking or not. I would just love to get more information on that. So just kind of spit out some pimping stuff for you, buddy.
All right, right on. Thank you. So Spencer Terry, I'm a hairstylist at Origin Salon. You can call or text me at 775-722-2792. Text preferably to book your appointment. And I look forward to hearing from you guys. I hope you guys are all safe. And you can find me on Facebook at Styles by Spencer Terry, Instagram at Spencer J. Terry, and Twitter at Spencer J. Terry.
What do you like to do? Like, what's your niche? I know you said you do a ton of guys. You mentioned
I
extensions as
love
well.
like doing fades on guys, giving guys amazing haircuts and fades, and I'm passionate about extensions, but also client education. Like I said, I educate with Color Proof. They're like the original vegan sulfate-free, salt-free company, and I've been with them since almost like their very beginning. And so education to my clients is key, making sure that they're getting the best, bang for the buck.
Right.
When it comes to that, and so that they know, you don't need 8 squeezes of shampoo on your hair. Just a
I
little
do. Yeah.
bit.
No, we use oh my God, Unite. We use Unite for
No,
everything because
yep.
Lindsay Salon's a Unite salon, and I one pump, man, just one pump of the black bottle stuff, and I'm good to go. I mean, I'm the kind of guy that can like shower my whole body with one pump of soap
I'm the
of
same way.
shampoo. Yeah, you got a little
And
bit more facial hair than me, but
it still washes the same. But
right.
yeah, the best thing that I think people could probably do for any hairstylist out there is give us a call and let us know how you're doing. We want to know
Mm,
how you guys are doing. And I have clients that are texting me that shave their heads or whatever, or like me, we're growing the beard until the end. And I just think especially what you're doing is really important, and
thanks, man.
keeping us local businesses alive, man. Keep giving us a voice, and you know, let me know when you need a haircut. I love doing hair extensions,
Yeah,
education with other hairstylists, even.
I needed it like yesterday. Like I did my hair. I took a shower, did my hair. I have to film it. I started filming a commercial for myself. We have a wedding organization I'm part of, and we're all doing a little commercial. And I started
Nice.
filming my own, and then my whole commercial, I have to do like 25 different outfits. So I did like 15, and after like my hair just started to fall because my hair goes up, and because I just have so much hair. Tell me, what should those that are watching this that haven't had a haircut in a while, haven't their roots are coming out, things are happening, tell me what they should not be doing right now in a freak out mode?
First of all, put the scissors down. Like, don't touch your bangs, please, please, please,
It's
God,
always
don't.
the bangs, right?
It's always the bangs, and they just get shorter, shorter, and shorter. Uh, I would stay away from home hair color unless you really desperately are freaking out, because that stuff has such a higher peroxide volume than what ours does. What we
Mm,
what we use as we mix chemicals as professionals, essentially hairstylists or scientists. We cook up
right,
in the kitchen all the time that are tailored specifically for you.
right,
And if the guy's got to cut their hair with a Flowbee, even if you even know what that is, but or you know, do your own clipper cut, that's fine. I get it, but try and hold off as long as you can, and hang in there for us as small businesses, as we've been there for you guys through marriages, childbirths, life, death.
right.
Everything, we've all been there for you guys. So if you could please stay in there for us, we would so appreciate it. And don't do your own waxing ever.
Ooh, ooh, yeah. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I can't. I
No
won't do it.
tweezers, no nothing. Brush your teeth, floss twice a day.
The
But
normal stuff, yeah. So stay away from box
commercial
color. I'm hearing that
products.
a lot, right? And I mean, like, if you haven't dyed your hair before, don't take this time to do it now. just don't. Like, this is why we pay professionals to do our thing. It'll be fine. Wear hats, wear bandanas on your head, get scarves, get cute, or
Yeah,
just stay
man.
home.
And you know what? There's posts out there on Instagram, and I think I shared one on my Instagram at Spencer J. Terry, where it was like spring style 2020, and it's a lady with red hair with like 4 inches of like gray roots. It was perfect.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, great, embrace it for now. And then
Call it the COVID hair.
it's over, let's get there.
Right.
But stay away from that at-home stuff. The peroxide volume is over a 30 volume peroxide because it has to penetrate through all different types of hair. And every ethnicity has a different type of hair. Right?
So
So
it's
it
made
has
for the general rather than specific hair.
Right. Whereas when I'm doing color, I use a very low developer, and it's specifically, your color mixer is specifically tailor-made for you and only you.
Right.
I don't use that formula on anybody else, and I keep track of those formulas, and most hairstylists do. And I think that's the most important thing. If you could hang in there for us, like we've hung in there for you through all the years, we would really appreciate it, and it would really help, the economy start coming back.
I appreciate that.
Open.
Yeah. They will wait. People will wait. It's not too much longer. We've gone through the hurdle of everything. Awesome, Spence. Dude, thank you so much for doing this. Is there anything, lasting things you want to say before we hop off of Facebook?
No, I just love you, buddy. That's
Thanks,
all.
man.
Tell
Awesome.
Liv for all the years she gave my little sister. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Well, she's a good kid, man. I know. Yeah, she's still a kid to me. So growing up, and I remember that the first time I met her too. So yeah, it's been cool. And then she joined the salon with the girls and all that. All right, don't leave, but hang tight. I'm gonna end Facebook's. Facebook, thank you guys so much. I left some info on how to subscribe to this podcast, Raw Focus. You guys will find it. Thank you guys for watching.
Thanks, Facebook.
Awesome, buddy. How'd it go?
Good.
Awesome,
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate the opportunity, man.
Yeah, you did great. So what I always tell people is if there's anything you have to promote or pimp or do whatever, just let me know, and I'm happy to get you back on, and we'll just focus and talk on that.
Okay.
But yeah, you gave out a ton of great information. I think we kind of pushed out our frustrations on PPP and SBA and all that stuff and unemployment. I'll keep you updated on when unemployment's going to come out. I know we have hopefully a week or so before they allow, since California's already doing it and people are actually getting money right now from self-employment.
Right.
We have a week left. So hopefully when that happens, I'll be able to push that out to everybody as well.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate what you're doing because you keep all of us informed, and right now I know that's probably the only thing you could do, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
because,
thanks, man.
You put out a lot of good information the first time I watched you, I was, found out about all this other stuff about SBA that I didn't even know. So I was able to apply even more. I think I spent a whole 18 hours applying to different lenders.
Right.
But
I applied to everything and wasted so much time. I remember helping everybody on unemployment, figuring it all out, and then so we can only do what we can only do. I'm still waiting on everything as well.
I think I heard the 15th hopefully is when they're gonna start sending us anything. Have you guys got your stimulus?
No, but I was able to go on to the Get My Payment on IRS,
Mm-hmm.
and before it said status not available, payment not available, or something, and then one day it was hey, put your banking information in, you're eligible. So I put it in. So I would check it until you can do that. But no, have you gotten yours?
No. I checked it this morning. When they first put out the / Get My Payment,
right.
I went in right away and put in my my banking information and stuff because I file an extension every year,
right.
And there's no way I was going to get it done right now.
Right.
Filed another extension, and they actually gave it to me for free. But so mine says you've been accepted, but we can't tell you your eligibility yet. So
nice.
I think I'm one step below you.
Yeah, and I don't know what changed. I don't know what happened, but like I said, I just don't ask questions anymore. I'm thanks, cool.
Yeah, I talked to my mom. I talked to my mom today, and her says that it's on its way. So that should be cool.
Awesome, buddy. All right. Well, thank you for doing this, and thanks for jumping on early too. But we can now start sharing this and pushing this out to everybody. They'll get some good information. Just keep me posted. Hit me up if you need anything.
Yeah, for sure. You guys too. If you need food, whatever, let me know.
Yeah, we're luckily we're doing well now, so we're just hanging out and waiting. Gonna film my rest of my commercial now.
All right, cool.
Awesome, buddy. I'll talk to you later.
All right, thanks, bud.
Bye.
Bye.